Welcome back to the Babbling Boots YouTube channel, where we babble about boots. In today's episode, we're going to do a special edition, a Halloween edition, on how to resurrect a pair of boots. So let's get into it.
Boo! Okay, I can't do this for the rest of the video, so my hair is going to have to go back.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
So the goal of this video is going to be to bring back to life from the dead, resurrect, our hiking boots. They're not hiking boots. They're our service boots that we wore to Shenandoah. And as you can see, they're basically dead. We could put these in a coffin if we wanted to.
They're not that dead, but...
They're pretty... Okay, well, they're half dead.
They're
They're on death's door. The Grim Reaper is around the corner.
They're Halloween worthy is what we're trying to tell you.
So basically, the goal of this is not to make these look brand new, like they were just born. We're just reviving them. And when you revive something, it's never, 100% back to life. And we don't want these to be 100% back to life. We want these to show patina and character where they've been. We're going to just buff out a lot of the dust and scuffs and then maybe put some conditioner in areas where, they might have been hit with a hatchet a couple times, when we were running away.
I don't know. I think I fought an invisible bear at Shenandoah. Yeah. I just don't remember fighting.
Or a serial killer or something to that effect.
So you?
And
You. Got it.
I'm a vampire,
okay.
Not a serial killer. Thank you.
Clearly,
it's a vampire. I don't have the fangs.
We are really ready for this Halloween.
Yes. Correct. This is a good activity to do with the lights off outside. No one knows you're home. You can just sit inside buffing your boots while you have people ringing your doorbell and knocking.
Yeah.
And just don't answer it. Just sit with your boots and enjoy the night. That's
so if you're watching this on Halloween, get your boots out, turn off your lights, get really creepy, and then we should just get going. Let's just get going.
Well, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Hello. Okay, let's go. So we're going to start with our horsehair brushes. Mm-hmm. And these horsehair brushes actually came from the Headless Horseman's own horse. The Headless Horseman's horsehide brushes. And we'll put a link in the description to where you can get a lot of these products. Similar products on Amazon. I'm not going to guarantee that these products are going to actually be the Headless Horseman's horse. Ours are from the Headless Horseman's horse. Yours probably won't be. It's just going to be a regular boring horse. But,
sorry.
It'll do the job. It'll do the job. So basically, we just want to buff the boots. I'm going to get, nice. This is my coffin.
We can make this ASMR. Hold on,
yeah.
Stop talking. Do you have any particular way you like to brush it? Like any tips for the viewers?
Very firm, well, not firmly, but very fast. Basically, you just want to brush until your arm feels like it's going to fall off.
That's a really great way to do it.
Yeah. We really should probably take these laces out as well. So that's a tip that you're going to
We should have done this before the video started.
You're going to want to take the laces out of your boots. So I'm going to just do that really quick.
Guess I'll do it too.
And I'll just speed this up.
It's a mini fail. This is what happens, by the way, when you don't script your videos.
Yeah. We'll speed through this part.
Alright, there's one.
What the hell?
Shall we continue brushing?
Yes, we shall, now that we have the laces out.
Yes.
So just brush these things very vigorously. A vigorous brushing all around the boot, and the tongue too, of the boot, not the horse. And the goal of this is really to get all the dirt out that's in your, embedded in the boots if you worn them, any debris, because when you try to just go directly into conditioning the boots without brushing them, you're basically going to be rubbing that dirt further into the leather of your boots, and that's going to damage the leather. So that's really, one is to get the leather really clean and dirt-free, but also just to help move the oils around in the leather. You want the oils to be nicely
moved around,
yes.
I have two tips for you guys. One, at least for me, one place I like to focus on is the toes. I actually focus a lot just on the very, very front itself because I scuff up my boots. I don't know if you guys can see that towards the front.
And loves to kick people with her boots.
I do. So. That is true. I kick many people in Shenandoah. The other thing I like to focus on is if you have partially gusseted or maybe even bellows, like full gusseted ton, make sure you focus a little bit inside the ton too because things get trapped inside here. What is this?
See, there you go. Your boots are dirty. I don't know.
That's nasty.
What you've been doing, it is. One of the cool things about boots in general, I guess, also with gusseted tongue boots, maybe more so, is that the tongue shows the most patina the quickest.
That's true.
You know? So this boot, you know, I've worn it maybe about a month, less than a month, and look how worn and patina the tongue is already, just from the laces.
Same with mine. You can tell from that.
Make sure you just brush every nook and cranny of your boots.
Do you like to go in one direction when you brush, or just many directions? Like,
I just go in any direction because eventually your hand gets tired, and it's really just about brushing, you know? I mean, as long as you're using the bristle side and not the wooden side, I think you're fine. It's like the main thing.
If you're using the wooden side,
yeah, it's not going to end well for your boots.
you should just go back to eating candy or something and stop watching this video. Yeah.
Also, you don't need to brush like the outer rubber sole of your boot because that's like the part that's on the ground anyway, so that doesn't matter. We're not conditioning this sole. You really wouldn't need to brush it even if it was leather. If you wanted to, you could put some like wax or something on the bottom to keep it more water resistant, but I wouldn't go through the trouble of brushing that or getting that clean because it is just the sole. That's kind of like the whole point of it, is to come into contact with dirt and debris anyway. You could stop at this stage if you like the slight sheen of the boots with the scuff marks very visible on them.
We should probably show them to the camera. Yeah. I don't know if you can really see the difference in the camera quality.
There's more of a luster to it, I would say, a shine.
Yeah, it's definitely more shiny.
Yeah, that's from the oils moving around and then obviously knocking some of the dirt and dust off of it. The other thing you can do is, and I'll probably do it to mine, and you could, in some areas where there's like a lot of abrasion, like here, you probably do want to put some conditioner on here because this is kind of like where the leather is kind of rubbing through a little bit, and it is
I can
fairly
feel
dry.
It too. It feels very dry.
Yeah, so for those areas, I would do like a touch-up conditioning for them. I wouldn't recondition the whole boot, obviously, because it doesn't need that right now.
So just as a tip, I guess, to summarize, feel around your boot, and you can feel, I think, pretty obviously the areas that are, and see the, like, small scuffs, don't worry about it, especially if you have Chrome XL. It's just going to be that way. But bigger scuffs in areas that you feel it's really dry, focus a bit more time on that for conditioning.
Yep, exactly. So I would suggest get like a torn towel, and you can get this, like, cut this from one of the shirts from one of your victims, or one of your old shirts that you have. So get some of that fancy witch cream here. Yes, this fancy witch cream. And this is called
Venetian leather balm.
Exactly.
Did I get that right? Yes.
It is a magical sorcery created product that you can also buy on Amazon, actually. Let's get a little bit of this. Make sure you shake it well so you can activate the spirits.
You actually should shake it a little bit.
It does say to shake it on the box.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's actually to get the spirits excited or what, but it says shake bottle vigorously. So we're going to get our victim shirt piece. Just a little dab on there.
And when you say little dab, you should quantify.
Little dab will do you,
Yeah. Just like 3-piece size.
Yes. If you have toothpaste.
3-piece size.
Just like a nice double toothpaste size amount. I don't have a whole lot of deep areas like you do. Like for yours.
Yeah, I have a couple right
here. And you just want to go and put some cream on there. Nothing too dramatic.
Now, do you like to rub it in circular areas, or it doesn't really matter?
It doesn't matter, but I think circles are good.
I tend to go circular, but I don't really know why.
I think circles are good when you're dealing with leather anyway. Just to brush it in circles so it's more even and it blends in more easily to the area. And at first when you put this on your boots, it is going to look pretty dark, and you're like, oh my god, my boots just got super dark and they're like stained. That gets absorbed into the leather and it's going to lighten up again. It's mostly just to moisturize the leather. This is a neutral cream, so it's not like going to darken your boots or stain them or anything. Venetian shoe cream is pretty safe in that regard. One thing you can also do, I don't know that my boots have it and yours might not either. If you have deep scuffs in your boots, like if you have, I could probably do it to here. There's a decent scuff on this boot. What you can actually do is get a spoon, like this spoon here, take the back of it and get a little bit of cream on the back of the spoon and just put it over the leather and kind of use the back of the spoon to circular motions in that area where it is to kind of flatten out where that abrasion was. And it really does work a lot to help smooth out the leather and kind of flatten out any gouges that you had in your boot. That's what I did on my Vibergs when I first had them. I wore them hiking and I went over a lot of sharp, jagged rocks with them. And when I got back to my house, they were like all jagged and just, they looked like they had been just thrown over rocks essentially. And I was like, oh my God, I just destroyed my boots. These look awful. And they're like deep gouges in them. And so I just went online, and apparently if you get the back of a spoon, because like when you scratch leather, it kind of has the fibers come through. Just get at the back of a spoon with some conditioner on it and run it over that, and it really helps to flatten out any gouges you have, and it really does smooth it over. And then if it's like really discolored, if you have like a darker pair of boots and you scratch it, and then it's like if you have like dark brown and you scratch it and you can see the light brown through, you can get like some brown polish that matches the color of the boot, put a little brown polish on the back of the spoon and blend it in there, and it works very well to hide scuffs and scratches. A horsehair brush isn't probably going to be able to get off all the dirt on your boots, especially if you've walked through muddy areas. Sometimes the dirt gets caked on and it doesn't come off easily with a brush. So if you have visible areas where you do have dirt or mud that's stuck on there, you can get a damp cloth or a damp paper towel and just lightly, go over the area where there is that dirt.
I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but I've got some kind of towards the front, and it doesn't come off with a horsehair brush, so you want to clean this off before you try to condition it over it.
So I'm just taking very light dabs of this Venetian shoe cream and just going over the scuffs to make them more hydrated. And I do want to stress that don't over condition these boots. I think that's one of the main mistakes people do, is that they condition their boots very frequently. You don't really have to do that, and you don't even have to condition them every time, like maybe, but a couple of times a year, unless you're going through like really rugged areas or terrain.
I think if you're just doing regular walking where it's not super dirty, you're not using them to hike. Some people, they only condition them once a year to maybe twice a year max.
I wouldn't condition the whole boot. Just do spot treatments of the conditioner on areas that look like they're very dry or have been scraped to the point where they need to be more moisturized. Because if you over condition your boots, then you're really going to be affecting the patina process and how your boots will age over time. If you have like a natural Chrome XL color, if you want those deep golden browns from a longer time of wear, then the less you condition them, I think the better. Sometimes if you over condition the boots, especially with natural, they kind of have more of a, I don't want to say grayish look, but kind of a grayish pale color over time. And it's not that deep, pretty golden brown. So that's just something else to keep in mind, is just be careful how much you are conditioning your boots, because you don't need to do it too frequently or all that much, even when you do it. As I said, just spot treatments. And then also, you have like the heel stack and then just the midsole here where you can see scuffs on it. Some people like to do edge dressing where they take dye and try to match the color of it. I just go with that same Venetian shoe cream and do spot treatments on the heel stack and then that midsole where it looks like it's been taking a beating a little bit. So I think I've pretty much finished, for at least mine, the kind of spot treatments. Oh, the spin. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to go in at the tongue area and see if I can add a little bit of conditioning in the areas that might need it. Looking at this one, there's sometimes really the only area on the tongue that's going to be a concern is where the back of the speed hooks and then the back of the eyelets are brushing up against the leather, because sometimes that can kind of poke into the leather a bit. So just go in those areas and take a little bit of cream and add it to that area to keep it moisturized so it doesn't kind of break down over time. It looks like mostly this is just around the speed hooks. The rest of the tongue for these looks very moisturized, so I don't think I'll really need to make any changes for that. And then another thing, sometimes with the tongues, like the gusseted tongues, so you have this kind of crease that forms in the leather from where it's folding over when you're lacing your shoes. And, this part is bent most of the time. So what I like to do is, because this part is bent so much, I just like to give it a little extra conditioning in here just to keep it moisturized, because this part is bending a lot and you don't want that part to dry out over time to where it maybe crack and potentially break. So just be sure to keep that inner lining part moisturized, just for like the integrity of the tongue itself. So then now we've done that, we're going to take our horsehair brushes and just go back and try to even out all the oils again and kind of do a finishing buff of them to shine them up a little bit more. So I think we've probably finished buffing them up now, the final stage. For my boots, as you can see, and I'm sure your boots as well, you can still see the scuffs, right? The scuffs aren't gone or anything, and that's obviously the intention isn't to get the scuffs away, because that's kind of how the boot ages. If you really wanted to get the scuffs away, you could get some polish of the same color and put it in there. As I mentioned before, this is really just to keep the boots conditioned and the leather protected, and it just kind of gives it a nice sheen without losing any of the patina that you built up over time.
You can also feel the difference too. It just feels a little bit cleaner.
Yeah, more nourished.
Yeah. It feels like healthier almost. As weird as that is to say, but
well, it is skin, so it is more moisturized. Right. And if you have like a wax suede boot and you want to re-wax those, you can use some Venetian shoe balm and put it on there and flatten it out with that, or you can use something like this. It's a Fry waterproof balm, and it's kind of waxy. And I actually use that on my waxy Commander boots to re-wax them. If you take that off, you can see it's pretty much a wax, and it actually works very well at kind of matting down suede and keeping it kind of waterproof. Like a lot of waxy Commander boots, they look really shiny. That's good for that.
And when you use it, do you just do like a very light little
light dabs? Obviously when you're conditioning boots or doing anything with your boots, always start with a very light amount and you'll work your way up to more over time if you think they need it. So that's one thing you can do. This is also a leather salve, leather conditioner butter from Otter Wax, and it's kind of along the same lines as the Fry. It's a wax, and you can use that. It smells very good and natural, actually.
It smells delicious.
Yeah, that smells great. Like you'd want to put that on your own hands.
This has shea butter, by the way.
So that's good for. You could use it as a wax, but you can also use it as a conditioner as well. It's just.
I could probably use this for lip gloss, honestly.
You could. It smells very nice. It's all natural, which is cool.
Yeah.
And you can use that to condition your boots as well. This is Severe, just their medium brown. I guess it's their shoe polish or shoe cream, and I use that on my Vibergs, the Brown Chrome XL I have. I think it matches Brown Chrome XL very well. If you have, like I mentioned before, a deep gouge in your Brown Chrome XL, and you can see like the underlying color of it, you can put a little bit of that over the gouge, and it'll bring a more uniform color back to your boots.
Right.
That's if you want to get rid of the color of the gouge, right? Like if you're okay with that gouge showing more, the difference in color, then by all means, I wouldn't recommend putting that on there. That's if you just want your boots to look closer to the way you were when you bought them, or just newer and
they have
shinier.
Different color options too.
Yeah, they have a lot of different color options.
This is 37. Again, this is not for these boots. It would not match.
Right.
This is for your pair of Vibergs.
Right. Those are the Brown Chrome XL. This is one that I found fits it
Brown
pretty well.
Chrome XL, a little bit darker, especially, right? Like this is medium brown in 37. But we have natural Chrome XL. We're not planning on using this.
Right.
Just to make that clear.
And then this is something that I bought. You can use, I would say, after you brush your boots the first time before you condition them, you can spray this. It's like a stain remover. You can, if you have like a stain on your boot somewhere that you drop something on them and you want to get rid of, my hair's coming apart, you can spray a little bit on there, and it kind of creates, almost looks like a powdery kind of area on the boot, and it supposedly, I guess, like the powder absorbs the stain, like if it's an oil stain or whatever, it helps pull out the oil from it, so brings the stain out of the boot and into the powder, and then you would just remove that. I tried to use it on my Viberg slides that I had, and I had mixed success with it. Maybe it works better for other people. It's something to try if you have a stain and you're desperate and you're trying to get it out. You can try that. You can use baking soda, which I also tried. Yeah. Didn't really work either.
Yeah.
So just, I would say if you're really desperate for it, Hail Mary, try to spray a little bit of that on after you've brushed them, let it sit. You can follow the instruction on the can. I think it's like sit for...
I've been trying to read it this whole time, and it's all in French.
Yeah, it's all in French. So I would say spray it on there, let it sit for like maybe an hour overnight, and then remove it, and then you can see how it looks. If it brought some of the stain out, you can reapply it. I think that's a good option for it's an option for stain.
Probably start with the baking soda first.
Yeah.
I
Just
think
try
that's-
what it,
That's the usual go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that should come after you've already tried to get it out with the horsehair brush. Like, don't reach for baking soda and stuff first, right? Do
Right.
what we did already 1st.
So yeah, I think that's been our ghoulish boot resurrection video for reviving some half-dead boots. They look,
And they're back to life.
yeah, they look more alive now. Don't
Yeah, they do.
they? We've sucked the life out of someone else's boots.
This is getting really weird.
It's like, it's like a
Anyways,
ritual.
I think we should wrap
It's
it up.
a ritual with all of our
Let's-
tools
let's
that
wrap
we
this
use
up.
to suck the life out of other
We
people's boots.
hope you guys
into our
have
boots.
learned something from this video.
Yeah.
Or found it enjoyable.
Yeah.
And if you guys want like an ASMR kind of cleaning based video where we shut up and we just clean our boots instead, let us know.
Yeah, you could let us know. But, you could also say that you want us to talk in our videos, and we'd love to do that for you too. All right, guys, thank you for watching this spooktacular video. Yeah?
Yes.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, guys. We have our horsehair brushes from our freshly... I'm not going to say that. They're from horses that we did not kill. I was going to make it Halloween-y, but I don't think we want to... That's not really Halloween.
Let's not do that.
Let's
Wait,
read
start
this
over,
video.
start over.
Okay.
Cut!